Okay. Anzalia is supposed to be accompanied by Sista Stella from the Rastafari Movement UK Food Wellbeing today, but she's very busy delivering food around London, so I'm here to represent and talk about her and what Rastafari are doing in south of London at the moment in terms of sustainability practices. So first of all, to start, to Rastafari, food practices are crucial to their cultural and spiritual way of life, which is called Ital. Okay? Ital stands for vital, which means eating organic plant-based food. No Ital, which to Rastafari stands for non-natural and man-made, consists of genetically modified, processed tinned food and also meat and fish consumption. No Ital food is often experienced by Rastafari as a form of physical colonization and spiritual contamination linked to Western eating habits. Rastafari are performing strategic ways to detach, contrast, and challenge Western eating habits by emphasizing the consumption of natural Ital food and try to eat accordingly despite living in an urban environment which sometimes make it difficult for them to do so, such as in London. Although eating Ital is a sustainable practice in itself, for Rastafari living in London is very challenging and they started to find new sustainable way to support Rastafari Livity way. Livity means way of life. Eating Ital is part of Livity for Rastafari. For example, during the during the 2019 COVID pandemic, I want to just say this is an extract from my PhD, and the continuation of it. The Rastafari Movement UK started to promote on social media platform a fundraising activity called Food Wellbeing for a food bank with which they were collaborating in London called Peppi's Social Market. With the support of the RMUK, the food bank was able to provide food to help vulnerable and at-risk households, children and elderly people living in isolation during the lockdown. This service was created and promoted principally by two Rastafari women, Sista Stella and Sista Sheba, to assist Rastafari and other local people living in Lambeth and Southwark by providing access to healthy organic food and promoting a broadly Ital diet. The food bank supported so many people that the RMUK members received an award for their wonderful work from the UK Faith and Belief Forum. Sister Stella told me that for her it was an honor to be able to deliver this service to people during the pandemic because, as she stressed, it's a principle of Rastafari to let the hungry be fed, the naked be clothed, the sick nourished, the aged protected, and the infant cared for. Food, in this context, and for this Rastafari woman, was a way to perform, embody love toward humanity and sustainable practices by prioritizing community well-being and inclusivity. Lambert Council developed a website called Right to Food, wherein a podcast called Ital, Rasta Food, the Friendship for Lambert poorest families, children, elders, and local people thank the RMUK for their vital support and help. Many people in the podcast stressed that RMUK not only provided healthy food for the community, but also psychological and moral support during the pandemic. However, the food bank was not permanent. In September 2021, Sista Stella started a long journey to ensure a permanent well-being center for Rastafari at the work community in Lewisham in Southwark area in south of London. During a chat with Sista Stella, she shared with me the vision concerning the new food bank with a garden. At the time, it was just a vision. She said, I hope in the garden we will be able to do some yoga, stretching as the sun comes up, massage the elderly, have herbal days where people are coming experience the herb, pure food for medicine and medicine for food, sensory plant growing around the edges. There, young people will learn skills, how to maintain the herb and the groundwork. We want to do theater, we want to do dance and promote cultural activities throughout the year, such as lessons on cultural food and well-being. A lot of activities will take place there, such as outdoor crafting, Nyabingi drumming will take place there with a fire, a drumming session for all sorts of different people, ages and background. In a further conversation with Sista Stella about the project in Southwark and Lewisham, she underlined to me the need to have such a space because many Rastafari in London are struggling economically to maintain an Ital organic diet due to unemployment, prohibitive cost of organic food, the impact of government austerity, educational barriers, and institutional racism. Sista Stella told me that the development of a Rastafari place with a garden in London where they could grow vegetables could help to fulfill their Ital way of life, create a microeconomy, and encourage self-sustainability. Promoting well-being and communal cultural activities will be beneficial not only to Rastafari but for the whole community of Southwark and Lewisham and the city of London. She stressed more than once the necessity for Rastafari to have a spiritual, mental, and cultural reparation. As she told me once, as much as trauma is inherent, so is healing. To achieve reparative healing, Sista Stella, together with other members of the Rastafari Movement UK, developed a program of recommendation that you can see behind me, based on sustainability, which underlines the movement and Rastafari need to achieve well-being while living in London. This pamphlet, called The 7 Way to Good Mental Well-being in Rastafari, was developed as a source of information about Rastafari needs, a way of life, also for governmental bodies such as the NHS. This pamphlet contains suggestions to improve spiritual, physical, educational, dietary, social, and economic well-being within the community according to the Rastafari faith. Finally, in 2022, Sista Stella was able to open a food bank in Newstead with the support of other Rastafari and local people operating in Lewisham area twice a week. Once, while I was volunteering and helped her with the food bank, she shared with me how everything started to work and how she realized that a food bank is a fundamental and necessary sustainable way to support the well-being of the Rastafari community and the wider community living in South of London. As she told me, she said, at the beginning, we had 8 people registered to the food bank. Now we have 258 people registered. And every day the demand increases. The food bank is not only for helping people economically, but it also helps the environment because part of the Rastafari mission is to preserve Mother Nature and be active against environmental injustice. When we deliver food, it stops good healthy food from being buried in the ground. It gets to people instead as a aid, good health and well-being, so people can focus on their family, contribute to the community, and not worry about their empty fridges. Everyone should have the right for good food. Instead, company overproduce and throw it or bury it. This is outrageous. In February 2024, Sista Stella, together with other members of the Rastafari Movement UK, local volunteers, and the support of some NGOs such as Action Against Hunger and Felix, was able to open a permanent food bank in Downham called InI Food and Wellbeing Center, which today feeds more than 300 families. InI RMUK Food and Wellbeing is playing a crucial, active and vital role to support and provide vegan, Ital and cultural food and 24/7 psychological support for Rastafari and local people struggling in their everyday life by having a strong and positive impact on their life and tackling poverty. Unfortunately, at the moment, the willingness for InI Food Wellbeing members to expand their work on other London areas is limited to the south of London due to the lack of funding and governmental support. Today, the InI for the Wellbeing Center aim is to help to build a sustainable community based on Rastafari principle, but which goes beyond Rastafari itself. In conclusion, this paper needs to develop social awareness on the strategic and sustainable ways in which Rastafari are responding to poverty, mental, physical well-being through the development of InI Food and Wellbeing Center. Being able to access in a sustainable way Ital food, such throughout the food bank, is central to Rastafari Livity practices as much as for their personal physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Within the Caribbean community and Rastafari community, eating is not only about surviving, but about personal well-being. As Sista Stella stated to me once, we are what we eat. This involves a holistic view and approach to food which is experienced by Rastafari as the deliverer not only of physical, but also of mental, spiritual, and psychological well-being and healing. In fact, as experienced by some Rastafari members, being able to access cultural Ital food through the food bank is a form of healing and reparative justice for Rastafari, and the diasporic community in general has helped them to stay in touch with their faith, culture, their generational histories and identities. Thank you.